This is Prophet Blake, and you are listening to Worship Radio International, the world's #1 online Christian radio station.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Let's Fix It with Shanada. Sit back, take some copious notes as we provide you with some awesome solutions to your financial matters. Invite your friends and family to join us. And if you're watching this live via Facebook, please like, tag, share, because sharing is caring. I am Shanada Harris, your financial specialist, offering solutions to your financial matters. Today's show is dedicated to my union brothers and sisters of General Motors as they're striking across the country. I ask everyone's continued prayers for an agreement to be made to end this strike soon. Shout out to all the wonderful gestures of kindness shown during this time for the union members across the country and for the donations of food and everyday items to help the families that are directly impacted. Big shout out to all the local businesses around the plants making food donations for the strikers and to many businesses surrounding the plants for making a living on the patronage of the UAW workers. I plead to you to stop and walk with them, talk with them, and encourage them. Take donations to help them out, like snacks, water. They're all greatly appreciated. And as a part of my appreciation, I'll be offering assistance to those in need that are impacted by the UAW strike. We band together as a community to help. A big congratulations to the Detroit Youth Choir. I am so excited for them. They are all winners in my eyes for sure. Shout out to the businesses that contributed to make an endowment fund of $1 million to help this amazing singing choir. Their futures is so bright. So way to go, you guys. We have not seen the last of this choir, I'm certain. All I can say is sang choir. To Mr. Anthony White, you are so awesome. You know, we need to make this man of the year because he's poured into these children and given them hope and possibilities. I just want you to know, Mr. White, you are definitely the real deal. So best wishes to Detroit Youth Choir as they continue their endeavors and to represent the city and represent the city proudly. I'm so excited for you. So I just want to welcome my very special guest into the studio today. We have Mr. Demetrius Sandridge, and I just want to tell you a little bit about the person here who is an author. He is a cancer survivor and a mentor. He's a published author, as I stated, a realtor. And I don't want to give away his story. I want him to share his awesome, incredible story and journey with us today. And talk about his incredible book, Breaking the Chains of Poverty. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Shanada.
You're so
Thank you.
welcome.
I really appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about this awesome book.
Where you want me to start? It's just so many things I could talk about.
Well, first, let's talk about what inspired you to put your story in book form and to let the world know the story of breaking the chains of poverty.
So the book came about really just to kind of share my story with readers across the world. I lived in poverty, and because I lived in poverty, I knew how it felt. I knew what I was experiencing. So I wanted to try to help individuals understand what poverty was and what it was not. Poverty has nothing to do with your skin color, has nothing to do with your race, it has nothing to do with your zip code. Poverty is a mindset. And I began to realize that when I came in connection and contact with people that had a better mindset than I did. So I knew it was a mindset. So I wanted to kind of really share my story that way.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about breaking the chains?
Breaking the Chains of Poverty, The Secret to Having a Wealthy, Healthy, and Wholesome Life is really a book that will help individuals find their purpose, find who they really are. Because once you understand who you are as an individual, you begin to move in the right direction and not waste time doing other things. So Breaking the Chains of Poverty will help you figure that out.
Okay. Okay. And you're talking about wealth and health. Those are two things that go hand in hand,
Right.
because if you're not healthy, it can cause some other financial situations along the way.
Of course, absolutely.
So share a little bit about that journey.
So Breaking Chains of Poverty, The Secret to Having a Wealthy, Healthy, and Wholesome Life. So Breaking Chains of Poverty is not really a book that's going to talk about finance, but it is in there. It's not really geared toward that. It's helping you understand that you got to declutter this information here, so that you can experience a whole different world. And when I did that, I began to see my life expand. I began to experience so many other wonderful things when I cleared this out.
Okay.
So it's a mindset.
It's a mindset.
It's a
Okay.
mindset.
All right. And it says here you are a cancer survivor, and they call you the Detroit Dog Whisperer.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
love that.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you expound a little bit about overcoming cancer, being a cancer survivor, as we're getting ready to go into one of the biggest cancer awareness months here starting October 1st, breast cancer for
Right,
women.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. That was a very dark place in my life,
Of course.
and it was sobering to get that information told to me. You know, you have cancer, and you probably got about a year and a half to live if we don't do anything. And so I'm like, so let me just kind of back up a little bit if I got time. I was working for a gentleman, limousine company, as a chauffeur. I was one of his top drivers, and we're doing well. I was making a lot of money, living great, making a lot of money, and all of a sudden, his company kind of like folded, and it forced me out of work. You know, he was paying me from his savings. He was trying to keep me aboard, you know, to keep me afloat, and it just got too much for him, and so he had to let me go. But he recommended another company to hire me, and he said, "D, you don't have to worry about anything. You just go right over there. They'll hire you right on the spot." I told him how well you work and, you know, your work ethics and all of that. I said, okay. But I was like mad at God at this point because I lost what I thought was a gravy job. I was there for years, almost 12 years with him. And my life was set, so I thought. And so he referred me over to this company. They did hire me on the spot. And a few weeks with the company, they gave me an assignment to pick up a doctor. I picked this doctor up, took him up north to do a talk. And on the way back, we were talking, and he says, "If you know anybody with cancer, I want you to give them my card, and you know, I specialize in cancer, prostate cancer to be specific." I said, okay. So I took the card in my wallet, and I'm like, I don't have cancer. I don't know anybody with cancer, but I just wanted to be nice and put the card in my wallet. A few weeks later, I go to my doctor. No, a year later, I go to my doctor, and he says my PSA levels are pretty high. So to get a second opinion or whatever, he gave me a couple numbers. And I remember that I had Dr. Kerner's number in my pocket, in my wallet. And I pulled it out. It was kind of stuck to my wallet because it's been there for a year. And so I pulled it out, and I called Dr. Kerner, and I say, "Hey, Dr. Kerner, I don't know if you remember me or not, but I drove you about a year ago. You know, we had a great time or whatever." He said, "Yeah, Dimitri, you did a great job. I was really pleased with the service." He said, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, my doctor is saying that my PSA numbers are pretty high, and I need to probably get a second opinion." He said, okay, so what are your numbers? I said, I don't really know, Doc. He said, don't worry about it. I'll have my staff call over there and get the numbers, and I'll call you back. So he calls me back, and he says, Demetrius, your numbers are really, really high. And they're so high, it's scary to me because I've seen these numbers before, and it's not good. You need to get in my office right away. Right away. So I went, made an appointment, got to the office, and we did the biopsy or whatever. And he said, I'll call you back in about, 7 days or whatever. He calls me back. He says, I have some good news and I have some bad news. He said, what do you want first? I said, give me the bad news first. He says, you got cancer, and you probably had it for about 3.5 years.
Wow.
And it's at the point now, if we don't do anything, you probably got about a year and a half to live. And I'm standing there with the phone to my face and like numb at this point.
Right.
I say, so what's the good news? He says, we have a small window to work with. We may be able to help you and save your life.
Wow.
Yeah. So he gave me some options. I did the what's called the robotic surgery, and it worked. I'm cancer free since 2012.
Awesome. That's totally awesome.
7 years, cancer free.
Who would have thought that you putting somebody's card in your wallet and needing it a year later, that it would still be there, intact with the numbers where you could read it and dial it,
Yep.
and this person would be able to
Save my life.
save your life.
I lost that job with my friend so that God could put me with a man that could save my life.
Wow. I hope you guys caught that message. Wow.
Yes.
I'm totally blown away.
Yes.
That is nothing
And when I realized what was really going on, when I was saying connecting the dots, I cried like a baby, because I'm sitting here pouting about this job because it's paying me well. I'm doing good in life, playing with my new son. We out playing, like I got all this time to live. And when I realized what was happening, I was like, you knucklehead, you. I cried like a baby, Shanada.
So that is a real big message for men to get their PSA levels checked.
Yes, ma'am.
And be about their business, because that is a serious matter.
Yes, ma'am.
That is for sure.
Yes, ma'am. And I didn't have any symptoms.
And I can attest to it because we have family history in our family of prostate cancer. So I do know the pain and agony of loss out of that.
Yes, ma'am.
So, wow. Well, I'm glad you're still here. Oh my God.
Hallelujah.
I'm glad you're still here.
Yes.
So, okay. Wow. Moving on to this Detroit dog whisperer. I mean,
Okay.
how do you go from miracle to dog whisperer? But okay.
I just love dogs, and German Shepherd is like my preferred breed. And German Shepherds are really smart dogs, and they make me look smart. So I just like the breed.
So you probably one of those people that train the dogs, like that are the canine specialists for. You probably could train them for
Of course.
the police work, and
I've trained my dog like that. I have a German Shepherd, and so when the police department see me walking with my dog, they notice how well trained he is. And I mean, off leash, on leash, they don't give me any problem. But my dog is totally obedient.
that's so cool. As I shared with you before we were on the air, we have a little 6-month-old little puppy, and he has no training whatsoever.
Right.
That's cool.
Yes.
That is so cool. So now tell us a little bit about you are a real estate agent on, and you had a featured appearance on the HGTV House Hunters.
Yep.
How did that come about?
It was an agent that was supposed to have done it, but because of some kind of accident, she couldn't do it anymore, and so they reached out to me to see if I could, become help find this lady a home on this program. So we did it.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah. So it was a pretty good episode. It was I think the title of that episode was "Starting Over in Southfield."
Okay.
Yeah, starting
So
over in
it kind of
Southfield.
put Southfield there, Southfield, Michigan on the map.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a great experience.
Okay, and you've worked with some celebrities. Some of my favorite: Anita Baker, Wesley Snipes, Les Brown.
Yep.
I'm a Les Brown fan. Jay Leno.
That's my mentor.
Les Brown?
Yeah, that's my mentor.
Okay, awesome. How is that working out?
So it's a good relationship. I love Les. Just he given me some great advice. Gave me good advice on my book.
Right.
And it's a great relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really really cool. I'm super excited. So you're like a local celebrity. In your own right.
Demetrius. I'm still Demetrius. I'm still Demetrius.
In your own right there, you've got little things going on there, and you've worked with the late Johnny Cochran.
Yeah, yep. Actually, we did some work with him when he came. I think he was doing some kind of tour, and I provided limousine service for him.
Okay.
Because I had a company at that time, and so I provided the limo service for him with the bodyguard service.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so I do a little bodyguard work too.
bodyguard work. Okay. Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Don't let the small physique fool you.
If ever we need some bodyguards around
Yes, ma'am.
here,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
know who to call. Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you were to give a little bit of advice to entrepreneurs, what type of advice would you give an entrepreneur that's a millennial that's really getting started or thinking about writing a book or even just sharing their story with the world? Because I'm certain that when you sat down to write this book, you had to do some soul searching as to really what you wanted to share and how you wanted to share it.
All right.
So could you give some advice and some tips there
On writing?
on how you came about the concept of telling your story and presenting your story?
Okay. It really started from journaling, just taking, writing notes and things about my daily life and some of the things I was going through, and it kind of compiled into, a manuscript. And, I'm like, so what I'm going to do, asking myself, what am I going to do with this information? And so I said, well, let's put it in book form and tell my story that way and share with the world and with individuals that want to be successful and don't know how to be successful. And so that's how it came about.
Okay. And any advice you want to give anyone who is thinking about going along the path of really just telling their story?
Be transparent. That's what helps people, is transparency. We see Hollywood's version of success and what they promote, but as an individual we need to be transparent about who we really are so that it can impact somebody's life. People are looking at you, and your life in itself is a book. And so just be transparent and share with people what you can share with them so that they can understand that they can make it just like you made it. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So as we're starting to wrap up here shortly, tell us where we can get your book,
Okay.
and let's talk about your upcoming engagement that you have October 19th.
Sure. The book is in all the stores. Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon, obviously, Walmart. You can order that through Walmart. And my website, of course, dsandridge.com.
Okay.
Yep.
And you're doing a book fair here in Southfield.
On the 19th, right?
Right.
Yep, October 19th. So that is October 19th. I believe I'm one of the keynote speakers at 1. I don't remember the time. I got to look at my schedule. But you can, if you go to the Southfield Public Library's website, it's all there.
Awesome.
And my website.
Okay.
But I'll be a keynote speaker there talking about my story and how I got started, you know, what poverty is and what poverty is not.
Okay. That is so awesome. I am totally excited for your success and your healing. This has been totally an amazing interview. Let me give you some contact information just in the event that you are trying to reach me. My contact information is 734-752-8818, and you can reach me on Facebook. I'm at Shanada M. Harris, and on Instagram at Shanada. My email address is letsfixitwithshanada@gmail.com, and my website for my services is www.shanadaharris.com. I've also shared with you guys that I am available to speak at networking events and churches, organizational meetings as well. And I do encourage small businesses to book me. These are awesome benefits that I offer to help employees. And some of the best engagements for me are large groups because the information needs to be shared in the masses. And we try to provide financial solutions to people's problems. So definitely please contact me. We're also working on our Empowerment 500 as I'm helping 500 people this year become financially empowered. We are growing this movement with people who are ready to purchase homes, cars, or just really simply get their affairs in order. This week by Saturday midnight, September 28th, I am giving away a 5-day vacation voucher to Cancun, Mexico. So call a friend, tell a friend. Make sure you share this information because as we wind down the year, and we've been talking about this the last few episodes, there's 95 days left in 2019. So it's really time to start thinking about where it is you want to go in 2020 and how you're going to get there, and mapping out a plan of action to get you to where you want to go. So you can't get to a destination if you don't know the direction of that destination. So we definitely want to be of assistance and encouragement to those that are really trying to make a difference in their lives and impact their financial journey. So we definitely want to be able to assist you in that. And before we close, I want to give you the opportunity to share anything that you'd like as closing remarks.
Sure. All right. So let me just give you the 5 P's to a prosperous life.
Okay.
Can we close with that?
We sure can.
All right. So if you really want to have a prosperous life, if you really want to do well in life, I call this the 5 P's to prosperity or having a successful life. Number 1, preparation.
And I need to write this down.
Preparation. Preparation is the starting point. You need to prepare for success. Success doesn't just show up.
No.
You have to prepare for it. And in that preparation period, you have to really evaluate what it is inside of you that makes you different. What did God put uniquely in you that makes you different? Find that out. Number 2, perseverance. Persevere through those negative thoughts that go on in your head. I'm not good enough. Somebody else can do it. those kind of thoughts. We got to persevere through that if you really want to have a successful and prosperous life. All right. The third one is persistence. So perseverance is dealing with who you are, dealing with those negative thoughts in your mind. Persistence is dealing with those outer situations. People talking about, your daddy didn't make it, so you're not going to make it. Okay, or whatever that may be, okay? So persistence. The fourth one is passion. You got to have a passion for what you do.
Definitely.
You got to bring it to the table. Bring it to the game, bring it to the field. Bring that passion. And the last one is prayer.
Wow.
Prayer.
Wow.
Include God on your journey. Include him in your journey. Including. So that's what I want to leave with your listeners, your audience, is those 5 P's to having a prosperous life.
Now, I hope y'all took some copious notes on that. He said the 5 P's, you guys: preparation, perseverance, persistence, passion, prayer. Y'all know I had to write it down. So I am super excited, and I want to thank you so much for being a guest here on Let's Fix It with Shanada here on Worship Radio International. We will have another special guest coming up real soon, and I just really appreciate your time and gracing us with your presence and information. And you guys, make sure you go and get his book, Breaking the Chains of Poverty. I am excited about his book. He has an awesome, incredible story and an incredible journey, and you don't want to miss any of it.
Thank you.
I wish you well with that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Because it looks like you've poured a lot into that story. So as we begin to close, I want to leave you with this. Make a difference in someone's life today. Don't let the enemy have his way. Let a kind word, gesture, or smile warm the heart of someone who may be hurting inside. Lift the spirit of someone who may be struggling with getting by. Make it worthwhile that they may sustain. Be a blessing. With that being said, until God says the same, we'll see you next week. Have an awesome week.
Hey, this is DeAndre Ford, and you're listening to Worship Radio International.